What's happening, guys? Brian here. We got an issue. So I bought this fuel cell, oh shoot, probably 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I bought it for like 250 bucks. The guy was just trying to offload it. It came with one hose and a nozzle and a second hose and a nozzle. It's over there somewhere. So the cable it came with was kind of toast. Had been melted by something pretty good. So I took this cable and I attached everything, and it's not working. It doesn't even light up, right? No clicking, no nothing. So we're gonna take it apart and figure out what is the problem. Okay. One of the other things we're gonna do while we're doing this whole deal is I'm also gonna put a fuel filter on this. Whoa. Hopefully we can get this thing running. This is our fuel filter. About this. Oh no. We're gonna need an adapter. Dang it. But I got one. Sweet. There's one on the small slip tank right on top, so we'll take that off, put that in there. Gotta use this stuff. Teflon tape. Helps everything get sealed. And there's a certain way you put it on too. And you don't need a ton of it either. Some people really overdo it. And see how this is, right? So I wrapped it this way, and when I thread it in, it tightens the tape. That's how you do that. Okay, that's on there. Now, we'll take that fitting off of that. Size. Get this nasty stuff off of there. Better remember to plug that top part, that way that pump doesn't get dirtier, get all screwed up either. Perfect. Okay. I normally just do like 2 wraps. That's what I normally do. 2 wraps is normally enough. This has got to be up position, just like that. That way this can thread on just like this. Except for that's the wrong size too. Dang it. Come on, why? Okay, well, I guess the filter's not going on today. Is what it is. We need an adapter for this. Obviously, it's not an inch. Well, let's start taking this apart. Let's just take this thing apart. First thing we could do is pull this plug out of the top and see what it looks like. Looks pretty clean in there. So I'm guessing the pump is probably fine. Doesn't look damaged or nothing. Okay. So it could be the switch, right? So this is the switch housing right here. So let's pull that apart, because this is just a cover for the fuel, for the electric line. I already had this off. Just shows you where the electric goes in, right? So I guess next step is take this switch off and see if we can't figure something out like that. Let's bend this thing, because that is bent. It's not supposed to be. There we go. Bend that back into place. What size is this? Not 10. Probably 7/16. Yep. Okay. Let's pull this thing apart. What's that? Another switch inside of a switch? Well, let's see if that does anything. Well, hopefully it doesn't, because, well, I mean, hopefully it does, but we don't have a hose on here, so we're gonna find out real quick. Oh, that just toggles that. That's what that does. See? Okay, well. I don't know why. That is cool. Okay, so up would be on, down would be off. That's the way that's supposed to work. Okay, now there's a star inside of there. Let's see if this is the right size. Huh. That right there didn't seem to be plugged in. I don't like how it's so floppy. Okay, let's see now. Okay. Whoa! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we found out the issue. I did not want to get that on my paint. Well, that was an easy fix. Somehow got unplugged on the inside. Well, Houston, we got power. And that pumped it out quick. Okay, let's unplug this battery. Don't want to accidentally turn it on. So now what we gotta do is, the reason it failed, see how easy that came unplugged? We're gonna crimp this just a hair with some pliers. Of course, I don't have any pliers up here. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna squeeze this just a hair, make that. That way, when it's plugged in, it doesn't get unplugged as easy. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That ain't coming unplugged. Okay, now, you have to fit all this back in here. That's right. Yep, just like that. And we gotta put this back on there. And it's gonna be kind of tricky. There we go. Let's turn this down. There we go. That's just in there just snug. That's all we need. Yeah. I'd turn it on again just to test it, but I don't have the hose hooked up and I don't want to have fuel going everywhere. So this is the only reason this is a sealed compartment is because there's arcing in that switch when you switch it, right? And so they don't want fumes going in there, so that's why this is sealed. And it's just got a gasket on there. And okay, perfect. Put that top one on here. The purpose of having this thing on low is it doesn't over tighten them because it's in aluminum and they don't really need to be cranked on there, you know, 1,000 foot-pounds. Right, those are nice and solid on there. Okay, now what we can do is we need to figure out I just do not like what in the. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna redo this whole part right here. It will just look so much better. This is just crappy. I just kind of threw it together. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna redo this thing so it looks good. We're just gonna chop these off right there. Okay. This is why I like to use those heat shrink, because they really, see that heat shrink right there? It just fused itself basically to the outside of that wire right there. Keeps corrosion out really good, guys. That's why you want to use the heat shrink. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this. Cut that off. Yeah, another step I forgot last night. Where'd it go? Oh, come on. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? There's a little, supposed to be a cap. There it is. Okay, this cap goes on here, which is what I forgot, because I was in a hurry and it was getting dark and, you know, all that jazz. This goes on like that. How's this going? I think that goes on like that. Yep, okay. So that goes through, this goes on, and then that tightens on like that, except for you don't cross-thread it. There, yeah, and that pulls it solid. Okay, so now let's work on this part. We don't want that much. Let's give us some room. Okay, let's cut this open. As you can see, I'm just barely scratching the surface on that. Right, and then see how I barely scratched it? Didn't go all the way through. Did not go all the way through, so when you take these wires and pull them out, you can split the insulation if, there we go. Okay, now we're gonna split this up just a little bit further. Give us a little bit more room to work. Okay, all this stuff is just insulation fibers. Keep the wire cooler and act as a fuse when it gets too hot. Oh, did I say that out loud? Okay. Got one. There we go. Here's a little trick I want to show you guys. So basically here we got two different size wires, right? We got two different size wires. This one's fatter than this one, right? Not by much, but it is. So typically what somebody would do is they would just grab the fat joint, right? And they would use the fat one, and then one side would be looser than the other. I mean, they would both be pretty tight because this is pretty thick, but it would be more susceptible to breaking loose on this side because it's a thinner wire. So instead of doing that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the smaller connector on this, and then we'll just use one of these connectors on the larger one. It'll make a good connection, and both of the wires will be tight on the connectors, less likely to get pulled, you know. So that's what we're gonna do. So we'll put these big connectors on these, get these crimped on. By the way, I got these from the Junkie. These crimpers are amazing, by the way, Justin. My favorite. Definitely worth whatever you paid for them. Definitely worth whatever you paid for them. Okay, now we got those two. Now what we'll do is we'll put these ones on these. Now here's another reason why I'm doing it this way. These cables, these cords, they get damaged so often and so easily. Like you seen that other one, it was melted to heck. So what this is gonna do is, if something grinds into the cable or gets melted or what, who knows what, if something happens to it, all I have to do is unplug these, grab a new cable, and plug it right back in. Right? I only have to do the step once, right? If something happens. So a much better fix, I would say, than the other route, right? Now we got fuel everywhere. Good thing it's just diesel. Okay, those are good. One of the issues I don't like, geez, that's hot. One of the issues I don't like with these things okay, I'm just gonna wait till those cool down. See how this closed up? Like, you have to plug it in before you heated up, which is a pain. It's just a flipping pain. There, red to red, black to black. Boom. Right? There we have that. Now the question is, okay, let's pull this back through just a hair. That way we don't have so much wire in there. And kind of twist that in there. Back through a little more. Okay, there we have it, guys. Now that can just sit in there just nice and neatly. Okay. Just cut diesel all over it. I'm gonna run down to Ace. And we will get an adapter to go from this size to 1 inch. Okay, there you have it, guys. Now we got a fuel system that works. I could do straight to the fuel line in here. This will fit, but I want a filter in line, right? A water separator filter. So this is 3/4 line right here, 3/4. So this is probably a 3/4, right? Another thing, these fuel caps are junk. They're garbage. They're so hard to put on and take off, and they're just junk. So we are going to take this off, put a better one on. And yes, I needed this pipe wrench to get this off. That thing was on there. Dead. Don't want any of that gunk on there. This is the style you want. Let me show you. This is the style you want. This is a way better style because the locking mechanism itself is just so much more robust. Right, so on this style, the locking mechanism, which it doesn't even line up on this particular cap, but you see that hole? In that hole you put a lock through here, just through this thin sheet metal, and it hits this little bumper stop, and that's what allows them not to unlock it. Now this, that's pretty self-explanatory. This whole thing locks it. So it's much better design. Much better. And you can even lock it right there if you want. But I don't recommend locking it right there. That's such thin sheet metal. Somebody with a hacksaw could chop that off.
So let's put some.
Another thing is you want to put this on this cap because one of the things is, oh, I put it on backwards. backwards. You want to put it on. See how it just undid? It's because I put the tape on backwards. That's why there's a specific way to put it on, right? So I just showed you, I just screwed up, and then I showed you why you want to do it the correct way. So this thread's on this way. That means this has to go this way. And really with fuel, the Teflon tape isn't even the best option with fuel tanks. They have a specific putty that's made for diesel because diesel kind of weeps. See how this is wrapped this way? So as I'm tightening this in, it tightens the tape on there. That's how that works. And you want this bad boy tight because you don't want somebody coming through and just loosening that up. See how nice that was? Boom, put a lock in there. Nobody's gonna be stealing that fuel. Ugh. There it is, just like that. I just have to. This thing does not tighten. It's actually junk. That's what it is. I don't like the way this is set up. I think it's stripped from the last guy. Stays, but as soon as I put too much pressure on this nut thing popped. Like it just popped into place, so I don't know. Okay, now theoretically, since I hooked this up, it shouldn't go. Hey, booger. Okay. Now, take this out. Are you kidding me? As soon as I put it together, it doesn't work. That is not supposed to happen. Damn filter isn't freaking tight or something. What the flip? What kind of freaking crack show filter is this? Damn it. I should have checked this stupid filter system out before I... Sorry about that. You guys got soaked in diesel. I think this thing's waterproof. That is very frustrating. Let's drain this thing all the way. Figure out how this damn thing works. Because that just made a freaking mess everywhere. So it's supposed to be all the way down, looks like. That's not how I want to learn this thing. Okay, well, I just learned a valuable lesson. This is supposed to be all the way down, and then you loosen it to drain it, right? Okay. Now that I got that figured out, that wasn't too hard to figure out now. Just turn the pump on and spray fuel everywhere. Let me clean this mess up. We're gonna try this all over again. Hopefully it doesn't freaking leak everywhere like last time. What? No. We're just gonna hold this that way. It's gotta be static electricity. Yeah, it's definitely static. Because I can feel it. Man, that diesel is so staticky. I think that's kind of scary. What's even scarier is that right there. Look at that fuel. I mean, there's just so much rust in there. Jeez Louise. I put a cleaner in this. Man, that's kind of scary. Let's drain some of this out. It's clogged. Oh wait, here, I got an idea. If I pull the trigger to let air in there, maybe. There we go. Yeah, do you see that? It's like, there's a lot of rust particles in there. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this sit. Let the rust go to the bottom, and then do it again later. We finally got our system working. Not bad. After how many tries of spraying diesel all over everything. All right. Don't forget to pound that like button, guys. Don't forget to pound that subscribe button. And I'll catch you on this one. I got a big mess to clean up.